Today on the Motohead's Garage, we see what I bought. That's right. You're looking at a 2003 Enthusiast Edition with leather seats 350Z that I bought for $900. And it could have been a mistake. Why could it have been a mistake? Well, there's three things you never do. Buy a car that you know nothing about that's not running, buy a car in the rain, or buy a car at night. Yeah, it wasn't raining. So I got one of the three right. Just one of the... Wait. Yeah, just one of the three. It was definitely night. It was definitely a fast transaction. But it does have a clear title. Let's see what all we got for $900. Something I didn't notice, which is obvious, is that's not paint. I don't know how much Bondo's there. I did put power to it to roll the window down so I could get in and out because... First thing, we're going to switch over now to like a bit of a vlog style. So, it does have almost new tires. Don't know what brand they are. Something I've never heard of. But the rims are Porsche wheels. As you can see, got the little Porsche logo. Almost brand new Angel Eyes. Don't know if I like them, but they're on there. Obviously, the back of this car was a bit mistreated because even more damage right there. It's got the little wing, factory Nissan wing, which I like that. Broken tail lights, of course. With a shorty there. This worries me because this paint stuff is usually what you get out of a salvage yard. Now let's see this power plant. All right. It's got an actual K&N. I don't know if you can see that. Cold air intake Typhoon system with all the cool carbon. The intake that goes down there. Let's see if I can get a light. As you can see, it's missing the air scoop. It has this, but it's missing the air scoop. Obviously been sitting a while because belts look dirty. Washer fluid cover missing. Battery cover missing. Other than that, it looks to all be there. Uh-oh. Do we have coilovers? BC coilover with a adjuster. Let's see what we got inside that wheel. Don't know how well you're going to see this, but we're going to try. It has got adjustable coilovers and no fender lining to be found. Of course, brakes have been painted red. I think they're painted. Enthusiast Edition. No, they're definitely painted. That's the valve cap. Brake pads are mediocre. Rotors are rust. So somebody didn't completely cheap out. The intake is an actual K&N intake. I think BC coilovers aren't cheap, but maybe they are. We will find out for sure. And let's see what else we got. Climbing in, as you can see, very rough. Door panel's rough. Steering wheel rough. Dirty, dirty. Doesn't work. Every single vent has a freshener in it, which tells you something has gone awry. Cup holder just broke off. Let's put that back in there. Of course it won't stay. Uh-oh. Base Cannon life. This is the Enthusiast Edition, so it has cruise control. Does have the 6-speed. Uh-oh. The scoop for the K&N. That's good. Box of stuff. Something more. Huh. Oh, there's the battery cover. Not all bad. And a box of parts. So let's go over there and see exactly what we got. In this box of parts that we have here that came with the car, this is Trusted Reliability and Quality, TRQ. Oh. Okay. Front wheel bearings. And remember, this is all the stuff that came with it. This is TRQ sway bar end links. Okay. Ah. Timing chain set. Timing chain kit. Huh? And more TRQ. Oh, wow. Okay. Control arms. This is... I don't know which ones they are, but we do have control arms now. That's a good thing. I take it had some suspension issues. Okay, they must have had this door off because there's the handle that goes there. The doors just will not stay open. An electrical component. Doesn't say what it is, but it's a sensor. Camshaft sensor. Maybe one of the reasons why it wasn't running, because this is the old camshaft sensor. A Rockford Fosgate amp. Don't know if that works. Ah, the glove box. Random wires. That'll go in the random wire box. There we go. We looked in that one. Nothing in that one. Cigarette lighter. Oh. As a lot of y'all may be able to tell. What is that? Oh, these aren't Z seats. These may not be the 350Z seats. Somebody in the comments will have to tell me, because why would you need to be able to lift the seat forward from the back? These may be out of an actual, what do you call it? The Q35, I believe, because the Q35, one of the Q cars, one of the Infiniti cars is kind of the same base car. It's a little longer, I believe, and it has back seats. And so you would do that to get in. So I believe these are Q35 seats. Somebody in the comments, please let me know. So that changes things as far as recovering them. May just be replacing them. Now, let's get the key and figure out how to get in the back. I know Z guys are screaming right now because I don't know how to get in the back seat or in the back. There's got to be a release somewhere. I guess we don't get in the back. All right, we'll go from here. We'll figure out how to get in the back of this thing here in a minute. Let's put some power to it and let's see what she does. All right, I got a big battery hooked to it. Uh-oh, we got beeping. What do we got here? Uh-oh, things come to life and... Whoa, volume down. AC is off. It seems to be turning over kind of slow. It's making a clicking noise. Maybe I shouldn't have bought this. Pull the battery off. Didn't seem like it's getting any spark. That's kind of what the guy was telling me before, was that it wasn't getting spark. I want to make sure we have a good strong battery, get plenty of turning over, because sometimes that can cause that. Because the computer just doesn't see enough amperage to be able to do that. So pull the battery off. You probably hear it pulsating back there. It's on the reconditioning. We'll see what happens. And yeah, as you can see, a lot has happened. I got to working and didn't film because I really enjoy working on stuff. I really do, believe it or not. And sometimes I forget to film because my brain is going or whatnot. So, I'll tell you, I get you up to speed. First off, whoever worked on this thing before was a complete hack. Oh my god, I found already two bolts that were loose holding the engine to the transmission. So obviously this engine's been out. I was told that it did have a new clutch, so that makes sense. I'm seeing evidence that at least the transmission's been dropped. Finding all kinds of loose bolts. I found a sheet metal screw holding in one of the coils. Buying cheap cars at some, like, cheap hot boy cars or whatever you want to call them. Yeah, it's as bad as you think. I was able to get the back open. I had already ordered like a new key fob. It took me forever to get it to register or whatever. It didn't. Once I figured out how to do it, it was easy. But I'm retarded, so it took a minute. But got this open. It's really clean back here. The car is actually in certain spots really clean. Obviously, there's not much to it, but I did pop this up. Of course, struts are bad because that happens to all cars. We still have the no spark issue, and that seems to be what's going on. I tested all the sensors. There was a new crank sensor. I put a new one in to make sure it was fine. It didn't help anything. There was one new on bank A cam sensor that I tested it, and it tested fine, but it was kept throwing that code. I put a new one in just now. The code hasn't come back when I'm turning it over and over. It doesn't mean the code's cleared because maybe I haven't turned it over enough for the computer to see that. But speaking of computer, I think that's where we're at. I'm about to pull the computer. There's a pin out. I am getting power to that sensor. I am getting ground to that sensor. So the next question is there a good connection between the two? I pulled a cover off the front of the engine, a little window deal that it basically looks like it's either part of the variable valve timing, something along those lines, to on the end to make sure that the cam was spinning. The cam was spinning for sure. So I don't know if it's in time, obviously, but I can check that later. But we're not getting spark. So whether it's in time or not shouldn't tell the computer whether it should spark or not. I could smell fuel. Fuel pump comes on, so you could hear it. It wasn't I didn't think it was at first, but I know for sure it is now, and you could smell fuel vapors in the exhaust when you're turning it over. So we are getting fuel. I sprayed carb cleaner in the intake, not by the mass airflow sensors or any of those things. I went to a vacuum port straight into the intake. Nothing, no change. So the next thing I'm thinking is it's got to be the computer. I found a company in Houston that they may have one in stock that they can swap out. But that means that I'd have to reprogram my key. Oh, the dilemmas. Well, we'll figure that out as we go forward. Next thing I want to do is I want to trace and make sure that I'm getting signal from that right side cam sensor to the computer. All right, we have got this loose. The computer is right there. As you can see, it's pretty easy. 2 screws hold that on, pull this off, little trim piece right here. And the one good thing that I've noticed here is it looks like nobody's touched this. So that's a good thing, because everything else has just been like, Jesus, it's been such a ghetto. But obviously this panel's been apart. Somebody probably putting a radio in it, running wires all over the place. All right, let's find a pin out and see if it's getting continuity. English. So my clothes are different, and you would think it's the next day, but it's not. It's actually like 3 days later. 3 days and a lot of parts and a lot of money going into this engine, and really questioning, what was I thinking when I bought this? Okay, quick update. Still not running. I have my scan tool. This is a new tool for me. Was really excited to have it. Thought it would fix the world. Still not running. Then, diagnose it down to the brain. I believe that's where I left off. It's been so long I can't even remember what I was recording last, but I'll see when I edit. The brain was not the issue. Doesn't seem to be. For the record, $350 later, new brain. There's a module here. It's like a fuse box under the hood. Tore it apart. This module here, it's called the IPDM, the Intelligent Power Management. Intelligent Power Distribution Module. Has all these deals in here. Replaced it. These things are not cheap. I did some research, found out the same one goes in some Ultimas. Got it a lot cheaper. Don't know if it'll show. There's lots of corrosion in there in places. Thought that would be it. Still nothing. More money. All the crank cylinders, all of the crank sensors, crank sensors are new, cam sensors are new. Traced all the wiring. It's good. I pulled these. Still no spark. Can smell fuel. So I definitely believe I'm getting fuel. Can smell it. Plus, fuel pump comes on. Check compression. The compression was up, but not as high as what I was expect. But I don't know how these are supposed to be. Compression-wise, they were a little over 150 psi, which to me seems on the low side. So it's starting to lead me to having low compression. What would cause that? Possibly jumping timing. I did some more research and found that jumping time can actually cause these things not to fire, because the computer says, hey, you're out of time, we're not going to run. That's a huge possibility, because I have heard different noises from the motor that I wasn't expecting. So we'll do that. Next, I am going to do something, just in case. Seems to be that this is bad either way. Oil pressure, sorry. Oil pressure sending unit. Not a cheap little deal when you buy good quality ones. That one's like $80. So we're going to put it on. That can cause no fire, but it's actually reading high, like pegged out high, so I don't think that's a problem. I'm going to swap it out. You probably won't see me back. It probably won't be running. And then, if that's not it, I'm pulling down, starting to pull the front of the motor down to check timing, to see if it's jump timing, because I found out that is an issue with these. So, so much time and so much money. Let's get this put on there and then see what's next. Things have definitely not gone to plan. Changed out that oil sensor. It did fix the oil gauge. It seems to be working fine now. But unfortunately, nothing here is fixed. The next thing I need to do is I need to figure out what's, like, we're about to get in depth. The whole front of this car is coming off. I can almost guarantee that it needs a timing chain. I've checked, the timing chain adjuster is all the way out, so it needs a timing chain. So it's going to have to be done anyways, and that's a problem that these have. I may have mentioned it, but I'm like on 2 days later from 2 days later from 2 days later. So, about to tear this down and move on to the next thing. This car will not beat me. Won't happen. I'm going to get it running. I think. We have news. Don't know if it's good news yet, but it is news. I did compression check on the engine, and it seemed to have compression over there and all that kind of stuff. Timing chain on these chains seems to be fine, but let's get close and see what went wrong. Coming in here, as you can see, here's that's supposed to live there. More timing chain deal. See that? It's supposed to have plastic. Oop, that's supposed to have plastic on it. Chain should not be like so. Timing chain guide is jacked. So the next thing to do is check my timing marks, which I've got paper stuff printed, manual, and see how bad it's out. Hopefully it didn't hurt anything. Just throw some new timing chains on there and see if we can get it to run. Well, it is 4:20 in the morning, so it took me about 5 hours, almost 6 hours, tear it all down, replace the cam chain, throw it all back together. There's one seal that I need to replace. I could tell it was leaking. It's hard as all get out. O'Reilly's, I looked online, said they have it, so I'm going to grab it in the morning. It's for the crank, the front main seal. Throw it in there and then put some oil in an oil filter. I feel haggard. Throw some things together, and this puppy has quite a good chance of firing up in the morning. Ugh. I'll take a shower, get a couple hours of sleep, and I guess back at it, because what else am I going to do with my life? This whole project has been a bit of a nightmare. It's got oil in it. It's got no coolant. Batteries hooked up. Let's see what it does. Oh, fuel pump's on, which it has been. I don't want to start it because what if it doesn't work? What? Yes! All right. Idle is terrible, non-existent, but it's probably because of the bad fuel. Oh, it runs, and it sounds good. Well, the muffler doesn't. We'll fix that. Stupid compressor. Well, I did get it running. Turn this AC on. I got it running. I've driven it around a little bit, and it runs good. It's pretty quick. I had a little bit of an issue with the air condition because I forgot to plug in a sensor because I was in a hurry getting things done in the middle of the night, 4 o'clock in the morning. But it's good. The car drives good. So the question is, like the title of the video, did I make a mistake? Should you ever buy a cheap 350Z? And I still don't know. I paid $900 for the car not running. I was like, an amazing deal. Gonna have it running, gonna wide body this thing, doing all, gonna do a bunch of stuff to it. But then what's the word I'm looking for? Then I wind up spending a week and a half working on it. And I know all that time, I'm on days off. So I don't know if it was, I don't know if you can count that. I don't count that because I don't, honestly, because I don't want to. So far, it's not a bad vehicle. Runs good. Everything seems to work fine as of right now. Something's up with the rear end. Whoever built this car is most definitely too low. But, well, what do you say? It's $900. Those BC Racing coils and lower end springs are a little much, but I may get used to it. I really appreciate everybody watching, people, friends and stuff on Instagram. I'm supposed to ask for you to subscribe. I don't care about subscribe, just keep watching, share it. If you hear somebody going to buy a cheap 350Z, let them know. There will be another video posted about this issue because I looked all over, spent so much time, and because I have the tools and all that, I have the ability to do all that work and test those things. Other people don't. So cam chains, they're a big issue. Anyhow, I appreciate everybody for watching. Please leave a comment, let me know what you think. I want to do more on the show, obviously, or the channel. I do cars and motorcycles and whatnot. Let me know if you like the motorcycle content. Let me know if you like this content. And like, share, and subscribe, and all those things that they always tell you to do. I'm still going to make videos when I want to make videos, and I really hope y'all like them. And just fun.